What's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Alex ship, and I'm trying to get to the channel now. A little early tonight, but I was speaking on the city council because there is a petition to remove the mayor from office because she's already been uh, pulled into an investigation where she knew, along with the city manager and other city officials, about some corrupt crap. So we're doing what we can to make sure to get her out of office because even as of right now, there's a lot more at play. It's crazy what's going on. But give me a second to get this on here. And and actually, I think I've got a 5-hour energy in the truck. You know what? I'm going to go get that because I definitely don't want to be on it. So I'll be right back, guys. Give me just a second. Man, I forgot I had some other goodies in there. Got me some banana chips. Yeah. Let those cool off a little bit because it's a little warm in the truck. I don't know if that's a bad idea or not, but I will find out. Whiskey, what's up, boss? Henry, MK, Sputnik, KTM. What's up, guys? I think, Henry, you sent me a text earlier today for me to check on your... Yeah, I haven't gotten to it, boss, because I've been trying to get this order out. I got to make 60 trout and flounder rigs, so I don't know how much line I have here. I just went to the back, picked up a whole bunch of stuff because got to get them done. This one's actually going out to Tackle Town, so that's quite a bit of them. I'm going to get them off of here because they normally hang from the weight anyway, so we'll see how it goes. But I can go and get the paperwork started for the fire drawing for today as well. Had a few people pay through the super chat earlier, or not super chat, the through the Zelle. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start it right here. Okay. There's 9/9/25. And we got Whiskey Warrior for 20. So for the lotto, we were close. We were in one of the right states, but we did not win. That sucks. I don't know. My bad on getting that Avid SX Raptor shipped to you. The seller refused to change the shipping address. That sucks. Well, could have told him, like, I mean, he'll do an unboxing live so we can see. I don't know. Maybe that sometimes that does go a long way. You know what I mean? So we'll see. So I got Daniel Garcia for the fire drawing as well. Oop, crap. Very touch. There it is. Okay. see. Daniel Garcia. He's at 20. Kruger, that was for the fire from Saturday. Okay. So far, Daniel Garcia and Whiskey, the only two that got into the fire drawing today. It just started. We'll give it about, 45 minutes to an hour, see how it goes. What's up, Ray? How you doing? I'm going to continue working on the Trout and Flounder rigs here because they got to ship out. I mean, they don't have to. I can deliver them, but for this portion of an order, if I'm not already making my way out there, there's no reason to go out there and just ship it to them. It'll be on my dime, which will be a lot cheaper than putting it on gas. So I plan on bringing it in person along with my 80. I lost about 500 yards to a boat running over my line. Oh, man. So, yeah, that does happen quite frequently. I don't understand the deal with boats. Like, why do they feel they got to get so close to shore, and run the shoreline and stuff like that when they have a boat? Like, the whole reason of having a boat was so you can get away from everybody. Yet you want to sit there and be right next to everybody. I don't get it. Don't get it. But that's the way it ends up working out. And I gotta find. Oh, nope. What's up, John Darnell? How you doing? Yeah. So, actually, it's funny. I just saw the paperwork that reminded me that you won the MXL Forum, the Fishing Tackle Unlimited drawing that we held. No rush, just whenever you're ready, boss. Let me know. We'll get that sorted. Hold on. Yes, they are. Okay. Need another. Oh, man. So, how is everybody's day going? Ours is been crazy. I was gonna go live last night. I really wanted to go live last night. I just, I, oh no! No. Oh, man, I just dropped about 200 beads all over my counter over here. That's just great. I'll give you an idea of what I'm working with over here. I've been working with so many different leaders. So now I got trout and flounder. So I got my sleeves, got my beads, and I just dropped all those beads. But I got all the coated cables for my shark drops. And then I got the 4-foot mono there for mono. And underneath that, I got more mono over here. Cable. Yeah, I've got all kinds of craziness going on right now. And I need to focus on one and just go through with it. But when I'm doing it, I like to bulk build. I like to build more than what I need so I can get it up on the shelf. But that's where I'm at right now. So, excuse my mess. My craziness here is it's all over the place. See if I can get most of these beads at least back into the container so I don't have to worry about it later. Oh, almost dropped the whole thing. All right, so now that a few more of y'all are watching, I'd like to get kind of a little tally of what y'all's thoughts are, guys, because I know when I started this channel, I wanted to keep it all fishing. However, through the years of working the channel, I have come to realize that a lot of things are missed by the fishermen. And what I mean by that, like the desal plant, the closing of the beaches, the piers, the taxes, like none of the fishermen are talking about it. And so because of that, we end up all losing out. So I was talking to somebody about that the other day about my channel, and they're like, yeah, they were kind of worried because I wanted to talk about it. And they were worried that, you know, I'm getting too political on my channel about stuff like that. And I'm like, well, the way I look at it is if I don't talk about it and nobody else talks about it and then we lose it, then I felt like I missed the opportunity to keep the public informed as to what's going on. And because of that, then, God, Albert, like, I just dropped about 1,000 sleeves. Look, there's my mess. Those are 0.8 millimeter sleeves. Like, they're itty bitty. They're itty bitty. So now I got to clean that up. But I guess this also happens too when I'm, you know, trying to be a worker and run a business at the same time. That was crazy too. Like I went and spoke on the public comment at the city council. Well, I didn't go. I spoke online, and I do like I normally do. You know, I introduce myself, what business I work, and that I'm a veteran-owned business, that I have a YouTube channel, and I do that so that way the city council members know who we are, or who I am, and who I represent, and who, or, you know, just more insight knowledge, so that way when they're sitting there talking about small business owners and or, you know, things going on with the city and nobody's participating, well, at least they know that they've got the attention of me and my YouTube channel, because I talk about it on here to keep y'all up to speed. So I just wanted to see what y'all's input was, whether or not, like, have I gotten too far into keeping y'all posted on a lot of this information, or is it much appreciated that I am keeping you up to speed on this information? So, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to clean up all these weeds so I don't ruin them. But that's just money sitting on the floor. Yep. Yeah, and the space. Yeah, I was talking about the SpaceX and the beach closures and you know and the turtle program, and you know it's a bunch of things like that. But like I said, the reason I started getting into it is because me as a fisherman, I was upset that I didn't know what was going on with those deals, and like, why can't I help, or what can I do to help? And this was the only avenue that I really had where I can, you know, have people that were willing to listen and or share ideas. You know what I mean? So, again, like I said, I kind of want to see where everybody's at, because obviously the main thing is to grow the channel, and you can't grow the channel if you don't really have the right information that people want to watch. So that's why I'm asking this, and that's why that way I can know where I'm at and if I'm doing the right thing. And Jaime, I definitely appreciate it. Yep, yes, sir. And yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, at least now the fishermen know that through my channel, they can come in here and kind of keep up to speed at what's going on without having to walk through all the BS that we have to walk through to get that information. You know, to like showing up to the public comment and all. You know, I can give y'all pretty much the down and dirty of what's going on and bring you up to speed really quick, rather than going the long route as what we're having to do over here. So
A piece like that big.
on it, it couldn't be like pushed off of that block.
Mark came over and goes, I'm gonna try something. Got that down. So basically, all he has to do is, because they're still like that big.
Yeah. Yeah, but how thick is it?
No, they're about like that thick. But all he has to do is just, what I'm saying, that he just has to cut in little small sections.
But it's still on top of that piece?
No.
It's off the piece? Yeah. Okay, so now we can collect it? Oh, good. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
He got stuck on there.
And actually, that if they're that small, we can melt that down.
So that side of the block was way thicker
Yeah.
than the other side. So they're still about like that thick.
Yeah.
So they're about 100 pounds or more a piece.
Yeah, but even then, like the one I did over there with Nico the last time, it was about 200 pounds, and we picked it up onto the block and melted it down. Yeah, because right now I'm paying $200 and something a
but
day.
it should take about maybe 2 hours in the morning to get all that cut.
Or if it can be done before
Noon.
before 11,
Yeah.
because I got to get over there, I got to pick it up and get it over there. Otherwise, if you go 1 minute over, they charge you for the whole day. So yeah.
When he came over with that, I was like, God, 'cause I knew that was going to save you money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I asked him like how much it would cost, and he never responded. So
but he said he was going to talk to you, but he said, I don't know if he worked out a deal, because he said he can get a bigger blade.
uh-huh.
And I'll go pass on it. Maybe he'll say, okay, he'll help out on that.
Yeah.
Because he goes, dude, if I get that bigger blade, yeah. But he was using the little ditch switch, not the big machine. He goes, I'll use the bigger one. So he goes, dude, they'll just butter. But I look at this way, and I don't know for the time. That's better than 4 days of trying to use that jackhammer, and it saves time still. You know what I'm saying?
I'll have to work it out because again, too, at $500 I can't afford it. Because even at 2 days.
Talk to them, they work something out. I'm just saying. But
no, at the end of the day, I have to run the numbers.
Yeah, I know. but you understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
but,
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, if we can get that done in 30 minutes rather than 2 or 3 days, cool. But again, too, we got to see how much it actually is and how many times he's going to offer it, even if I do go halves on it. If he say, oh, it's a one-time deal, then there ain't no use to it. But if he says, hey, man, whenever you need it kind of deal, text me that. So that way, if further down the line you forget, I could just screenshot it and send it to you. Because, yeah.
But
no, that.
Like I said, I was born thinking, I heard something. I was like, come out there, walked in there, goes, I want to try something. Move your car. Okay. And he was going to try to use that thing that they used to see how they use stumps.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to try to use that. We're like, nah. So we started throwing those chunks.
Yeah.
And he goes, nah. Switch out.
All right. So all the little pieces that flew off, you got to get all that squared away, right? Right. All right, do that.
I was going to say, when we're going to catch some great whites, man.
When they ain't afraid to bite, bro. Like, that's what I always tell people. Like, when you gonna bring it? When it's not afraid to bite my bait. Like, I'm not afraid to fight when he's ready to bite. Like, send it, bro.
The biggest one you caught is that manta ray, right?
Yeah.
Picture you got?
Well, there's no video and no pictures of me fighting a manta ray. Nick Myers, a breakaway tackle, went out there for about two hours recording me because I fought it for 3 hours. Okay, so to put it in perspective, my 12'6" tiger was my first big fish, big like legit monster, 12'6". Took me an hour and 15 minutes to fight it. But it was my first big fish, so I was learning the abilities that I had compared to the line, compared to the reel, compared to the rod, to the leaders and everything. Like all of it was coming into play now. And now I was figuring out how it was going to work for me. After I fought that one, I fought another one like 11 months later. By the time I went from the 12.6, I went to a 12.3. Actually, I did a 10.7 first. I pulled that 10.7 in 30. No, actually, that was like 15 minutes. Then I did it. That was only like 800. No, that one was 800. The 12.3 I did was 600 yards out. I pulled that one in 30 or 30. No, the 10.7 was like 8 to 10 minutes. The 12.3 was like 15 minutes. And the 13.2 from 1,800 yards out to the beach in 35 minutes.
So do they bite? Like whenever you go out there and throw your hook in there and shit? Or is it hard to...
Hey, watch the F-bombs. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live. No cussing. I'm live. Yeah, no, you're good.
Like whenever you put your rod in or your hooks in the water, Because you said when they ain't afraid of bites, so like, what is it hard? Is it hard for them to like? Is it hard to get their attention? The what?
It can be. It can be. Fish are like
You can go out there 3 days and not get a turn. Then you go out there, drop that bait, and somebody in the truck, you're on the run.
literally. My 12-3, actually, I dropped the bait on Friday. It didn't get picked up till Sunday. My 13-2, I dropped the bait. I came back. I hit the road. I came back like about an hour later. And literally, when I pulled up to camp, the line dropped and the line started peeling off right when I got back to camp. So there's other times, like you said, I dropped a bait 1,800 yards out. By the time I got to the beach, it had already gotten picked up. I literally got off the kayak after yakking 1,800 yards to run up onto the rack and fight the shark all the way in to have it released. No, I was up in Galveston when that one happened. Yeah, but all my 12-footers came from Corpus Christi area. Yes, sir. Well, it's coming, boss. We got to get through all these orders and get set up. All right. Let's see. Ellen McFern. Be loud. Okay, Sputnik. I have not seen that, but they did check. Send me to a website to start looking into that about Bob Hall Pier. Again, too, we as fishermen, all of us, whether you live here or you don't, we've got to start being proactive on what's going on with Bob Hall Pier, because what's happening is right now all the guys that are retired and living on the island and have nothing better to do but to go put in their 2 cents on what the pier should be, even though they don't do shark fishing. Many of them don't do king fishing. All they do is trout and redfish. That's all they want to do. That's all they want people on the pier to do. They want their style of fishing on the pier only. And then I've also heard, too, where they're trying to limit what kind of gear that we are going to teach our kids to fish with. You know, I can understand if you have an infant. I can understand if it's a toddler. I can understand all of that. But again, too, my son, when he was crawling around the house at 11 months old, he was trying to play with my big reels. Granted, he had no idea what he was doing or anything like that, but I wasn't going to hold him back. I was going to, even when I got him out there at 3 years old, put him on one of my big reels and I showed him how to crank. So all he knew how to do was crank. He had no idea of anything else. Everybody helped me move rods around so I can get my son to land a fish. And to have somebody sit there and tell me or govern me on what I can use to teach my kids how to fish or what to fish with, I have a problem with. I have a big time problem with that. So I'm going to start getting into that as well. And I'm definitely going to take you all along for the ride. But again, too, like I said, I need everybody's help on that. If y'all do know the website of where we need to go to start voicing our opinions and or when to start showing up for those meetings, because I think they only have it like once a month. And I think it's like on a Tuesday or on a Thursday. I don't remember because it's been probably 10 years since I've been to a Bob Hall Pier meeting. So I need to get out there and see what's up. So Diamond braid hollow core 130.52 test 600 yard monofilament 80 pound. Would that be good enough for trolling line? So why do you want to go with 130 as your backing and only have 80 pound mono top shot? What size of reel are you rolling with, to be honest, too? And to tell you the truth, 130 pound braid is pretty thick. And if you put it, say, on a 30, you're only going to have, you're not going to have much line. If you get that 600 yards on there on a 30, you're probably only going to get 50 to 100 foot or 150 foot of mono, which I guess is perfect, but it's going to limit you on what you can catch because obviously the reel doesn't have the drag to back up a 130 pound test. But okay, let me back up and put this in a perspective that y'all can understand for those of y'all that are new to the channel. The reason why we do 130 pound braid on an Avid 80 on the beach is because we're on the beach. We have no means of following that fish, so we got to try to stop it as quickly as possible. Now, on a boat, I've seen the same thing where like they're like, no, I'm only fishing in 100 foot, 200 foot of water, so it diving down and I have 130 means I can pull it back up faster. Cool, I understand that. But again, if you ask a question like that, please give us some more info as to how you plan on fishing, what depth you're trying to work with. Because again, too, for me, if I'm going to put thicker line, it's for abrasion resistance, one, two, line capacity, three, if I'm casting or if it's my top shot, um, like for casting, I'm going to put an 80-pound top shot because I don't want my line to break off and hurt somebody. And or when I'm fighting the fish near the pier or the jetty or the boat, I have a stronger test line that I can crank down and have more ability of controlling that fish near the boat, near the pier, near the jetty. But I'm not going to go less. So, um, yeah, that if you're going to do 80-pound mono, why don't you just go 80-pound braid at the same time? Or you're doing it just to keep your costs down. I can understand that as well. 130-pound mono is probably 30-pound or 25-pound braid diameter, depending on the manufacturer as well. That's going to be another thing to look at. Some 130-pound manufacturers are like 250-pound braid of another. So that's pretty crazy. Why do most anglers have a spinning reel and reel it up but not down? Because they don't have, okay, I'm a right-handed reeler. If I do spinning reel, the reel is facing down and I turn the handle like this. But if the handle doesn't flip to the opposite side, then you see the reel up and I'm doing this, and I try my hardest to not be caught like that. I know that picture gets out. Hey, look, T-Bar Life Captain's doing this number, bro. I will never live there. But I know where I stand. Like, I'm a right-handed reeler. I don't do left-handed, even though, we've had the conversations where left-handed, you're using your strong arm or this and that, and it's supposed to be faster and just, it may be, and I'm not going to fault anybody for reeling left-handed or me reeling right-handed, but a lot of reels can't flip the handle and stuff like that too. So, yeah. Oh, these trout, I've got so much space taken up over here. It's crazy. I hope, James, I hope that kind of answered your question. But yeah, I definitely could use some more information so I can better offer assistance. I mean, what style of fishing do you do? And how do you plan on fishing? The reel, I mean, I could. I could. I taught myself how to shoot from both eyes because the way I looked at it is if I ever got injured in my primary eye, I could still use my secondary eye to be able to still hit a target. I did that one year and I still scored an expert. Um, but for fishing reeling, yeah, I mean, it's got to be an emergency for me to switch hit like that. So, let's see. People run weaker mono outside to prevent more expensive braid from breaking off, from what I understand. Um, okay. I've heard of things like that when they use weaker mono. Say if they're deep dropping around rigs and stuff like that, they would rather break off like that rather than having to fight it as hard to break it off that way. I've heard of that. Yes, I have. Um, Candy Wahoo lures. Okay, so you're trolling. So, to be honest with you, boss, um, I've done the Shimano LRS 50 with 100-pound solid braid at the time. This was years and years ago. We were trolling for Wahoo. I caught a 4'9" Wahoo, and we never even backed off the troll. We kept going even after the hookup, and I basically skipped that wahoo across the surface to the boat. I know it was unfair to the wahoo, but again, too, I didn't expect it to be 4'9". I thought it was a smaller one, so I just started cranking on it and brought it to the boat, and then we reset the troll. Um, but I think I want to say I had 100-pound monofilament top shot when I did that. So where you fish at and you're trolling, are you just strictly, well, I mean, again, it's saltwater fishing. If you're trolling, anything can happen. Mako, other types of shark, tuna, kingfish, sailfish, unless you're fishing in an area that um, doesn't show any of those bigger types of fish, which, I mean, any saltwater environment that I know, you just, I always think of the movie Forrest Gump, saltwater fishing's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Oh, man. Oscar, which was your real boss? Because I don't have my paperwork in front of me to remember what you purchased. I shot the new range for the first time a couple weeks ago. Still got expert. Nice. So, what do you mean by the new range? Because I remember while in the Marine Corps, we went from yards to meters. Um, we were still using the iron sights, though, when I was in. It wasn't until a few years later that we learned that they were starting to go with the different type weapons and stuff like that. But I honestly didn't follow through with it because I honestly, once I got out of the Marine Corps, I really didn't worry about weapons. But yeah. Oscar, which reel are you? $1 billion. What's up, boss? How you doing? So Terra SOT. I honestly, boss, even though I own a tackle shop, there's so much tackle that comes out. I still have to research and find out what. So, are you using that? Are you talking about the shark fishing reel that Akuma came out with? That's a 50. Um, Shoot, you'll get a lot of mono on that. Even if you're putting 600 yards, 130 on the 50, you're still gonna get several hundred yards of mono. I'm assuming you're doing the 600 yards of 130 just to fill the reel. Not hard when you use scopes. Well, of course. Come on, man. $1 billion entertainment for 50. So that puts us at 110 right now for the fire drawing. Um, let's see. The Soltera. Let me see what that is. SOLT. Okay, so James, the Soltera Is that SLX? SLX. Okay, hold on. Let me look at that. Okay, I see. So the Solterra SLX 50 WIB. Oh, that's a smaller reel. Wow, that's a way smaller reel. Let me check out the line capacity on that. Hold on, real quick. And let's see. Wow, you ain't gonna get nothing, bro. That hold on. So be 50 WIB. No? Okay. So when I looked at that, I was looking at the smaller reel, but looking at the 50 going all the way down, it's saying you can get 1,825 yards of 80 or 1,530 yards of 100. So you should be right at about 1,200 yards of 130. So if you do 600 yards of 130-pound braid and 80-pound mono top shot, you should still be over 1,000 yards easy, or close to it. So yeah, I mean, the only time you're ever getting, but here's the other thing too. I know a lot of the guys that fish offshore don't fill up the reels all the way. They leave it like backed off quite a bit. Is this a reel that you're going to be personally using, or are you putting your customers on? Yes, catch shark on the beach and trolling with Kenny Wahoo lures for trolling. Okay. So the biggest thing that I have seen is land-based shark fishing and boat fishing. Obviously, two different worlds. However, you cannot mix them because land-based shark fishing, yes, you can use mono top shots, but what ends up happening, you eat up your line capacity. I personally use 80s and the 130s for land-based shark fishing, but I use 130-pound hollow core all the way through the reel. However, when I go offshore fishing and I'm trolling, I must use mono for the trolling section because that lure, even though they're made to be in the water and to not sit there and spin and stuff like that, the braid will continue to spin and mono will continue to spin. And if you're using braid, it'll come twisted up. It'll look like a rope rather than your hollow core braid, and it'll look really really trashy. This has actually happened to me. So you have to use the mono. Now, obviously, if you have a reel that's a 50, why don't you just go with 100-pound test because it's less likely to have as much spin as 80-pound mono will. I mean, granted, it's going to eat your line capacity, but I mean, I oh man, that's going to be the other thing. What kind of surf weights are you using on the beach? You know, this is two crazy spectrums you're trying to mix. Once you could throw trolling in there, that sends a curveball from hell right there because you have to use monofilament. When I go offshore, I'll only if I do take and put mono on my reels. As soon as I get to the beach, I take all the mono off and I put my braid back on. You know, if you can set up a wind-on leader to where you can remove that mono and only use it while you're trolling, and then put your hollow core braid back on, that would probably be the best way I would set that up. What's up, John Darnell with 24 tonight's fire drawing? That's 20. That put us at 130. I use 100-pound on my LXs. I do too. 80. And actually, real quick, James, I'll show you what I'm working with. And get over here and excuse the mess in my spooling room, guys. I have been crazy busy, bringing in a lot of tackle and stuff like that. I finally got bags that I needed, you know, the 6x8s and my gallon bags. So now I can put my big rig leaders into bags. Um, but I'm not in a hurry because I still have all of those to build here. I probably got 24 there, 24 there. I got the green mono for another 24 there that I got to build. All right, but here's my fishing gear, whether it's my casting gear or my big rig gear. And actually, let's do this. There's my other 280s right here. So that's all my beach gear right there. Nope, missing one. Oh, so hold on. There's my other 80 right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 80s and 130, and all of them are spooled with 130-pound hollow core to the brim. Right now they're cut off and or missing line because I did take some cutoffs, but in reality I didn't lose hardly anything on this trip other than leaders. Now, y'all don't know, but I did go offshore last Friday. So my HXW Raptor that's right there has a monofilament top shot. However, that's going to be coming off pretty soon. Like, as soon as I can get off my butt, not really get off my butt, get caught up, let me put it that way, get caught up on everything I got going, then I will put hollow core straight back on it. That one I went with because it was missing about a 1/4 inch of spool exposure. Otherwise, they would look like this, fully spooled with hollow core braid all the way through. Those are all my reels. My casting reels are backed off, obviously, for casting. There's my other 2 reels over there, too. Those are all spooled up for casting. There you go. That's my... So, I don't use mono anymore for land-based shark fishing, only when I'm trolling or offshore. I was going to be trolling that rod. I ended up not doing it after all because that boat. Oh, I've got a story with y'all, for y'all, and I'll let y'all be the judge because you're going to see me pick up the first shark, which they said it was undersized to keep. But if y'all know me, how big I am and how big that shark is when I pick it up, I'd like y'all to, I'd like some confirmation, whether I was in the wrong or they were in the wrong, whatever it may be. But again, too, when the second shark came to the boat, I instantly knew. And y'all know me, how many sharks I have released and released and released and released. And when I finally went, I was like, man, I'm in the mood for shark. Like, I really, really was in the mood for shark, for eating shark. You know what I mean? And to get denied, oh my gosh, bro. Like, there's going to be some harsh words in that video. And I'm going to leave it, guys, because I honestly, I got pretty ticked off. That was pretty ticked off. But y'all going to see it raw, uncut. I'm still working on it because it's like 2.5 hours of footage. I may leave it all together, but I'm going through it because I need to be able to. I don't want to post a video and get hit with copyright strikes, or not copyright, but against their community standards. I still have to go through the videos. So my first shark was a black tip. But from what I'm understanding, that if you're in federal waters, it has to be 64 inches to keep. Cool. How do you measure a shark? You bring it on, you put the tape on the nose, or you put it up against the board. As it comes down, you pull the tail down, and you try to get the maximum amount of length. Right? Right. However, this guy went all the way to the tail. It's still standing straight up like this. And he goes, there's no way there's 4 inches on that tail. It's a 60-inch ruler that they had. And I look back and I'm like, bro, that's over old. You got to no. And they walked away. Like, they didn't want to have nothing to do with me keeping a shark. I looked at it like this because I think you can only keep like 1 pelagic shark per boat. I thought they were probably looking for a way bigger shark and or a certain species of shark. And I was like, you know what? I said, I'm going to roll with it because I was, hey, if I get a mako, bro, like, I want a mako. I haven't eaten mako. I've never eaten mako. I want to eat a mako. So I was kind of, okay, you know what? I'll let it be. I pick up the shark. You're going to see it, the full shark. And then I toss it. Even right now, just telling the story, my heart is just like. So I've been up on Bob Hall Pier. We're 16 feet above the water. I've actually looked down, and from 16 feet above, I can look down and be within a few inches of gauging that shark. On this party boat, we were maybe 8 foot from the water, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm right there, like right there. And when I saw the first one in the water, I landed the second one not even 10 minutes later, right in that same area. And I already had a visual of the first one, where it started, where it ended, because there was some markings on the, not really markings, but there was markings where I saw the head and I saw the tail. And then when we brought it up on board, okay, that other one, say it was 60 inches. This one had it dwarfed by at least 8 inches to a foot, at least. And I'm like, dude, I got my shark. Like, now, and no, it didn't happen. I'm gonna let y'all watch the video. Ooh, 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 ooh. I was hot. So yeah, Sputnik. I've no idea. I want to say I've eaten swordfish. I've eaten um, halibut. I've eaten uh, tilefish, lionfish. What else have I eaten? Trying to think of like oddball fish out there that I've eaten. Um, Want to say I've eaten marlin on the East Coast in the Marine Corps. I want to say I have, but God, don't quote me. Just like thinking about it. Um, yeah, but yeah. Yeah. Well, needless to say, boss, put it this way: the other two guys that were with me, the other two veterans that were out there, they looked at me, they're like, "What the hell just happened?" I'm like, "Oh, bro, it was hot." Oof. And and my buddy that invited me, one of my YouTube subscribers, he invited me. He felt real bad. I was like, "Bro, it's not you. You had nothing to do with it. Like, you were over there, you were catching your fish, puffer fish. I've eaten puffer fish, yes, sir." I was like, it has nothing to do with you. Don't feel bad. It was them and the boat captain that chose to make that ruling and judgment on me or on that shark. And then, try to say, well, you don't know how many. And I was like, bro, you obviously don't know who I am and how many fish I've caught in my time. You know what I mean? I'm not new to, granted, I know they see guys that go out there and, uh, get new gear, and they've never done this style of fishing and stuff. I understand all of that, but to be denied that, and for me, it's more than just them releasing the show. Doing what they did is like, it also denied me my ability to do the advertising, because y'all know all the gear is built by us here, from us going out and going fishing, and that bigger shark. I'm going to show y'all which leader it was landed on. I'm going to show it to y'all now. I'm gonna do a little spoil. Hold on, real quick. Oh, it's got the leader. Uh, there you go. All right, here we go. I caught the bigger shark on my double drop snapper leader. That's right. That's what I hooked that bigger shark on, was this leader right here. And I pulled it off. You see that rod bowed over and everything. Like, I knew it was a big fish. And especially on an HXW Raptor, that it was a shark. It wasn't just, some undersized. No, I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that. Impossible. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I've had big sharks that have, the fight was in them. I'll admit that. But when I saw that shark, and then compared to those markings, compared to the shark I just landed, So it's fresh. It's not like a year later, oh, the markings on. No, 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 no. I literally just threw it back and I hooked right back up on something else. Yeah, yeah. I was really upset. Really, really, really upset. So, yeah, no, shoot. And actually, I had taken my SX Raptor out there because I was gonna throw. Um, I had a flying fish lure, and I also had a topwater lure just in case I saw jacks or something. My whole intent of going out there was one, to catch a shark to eat, two, to catch bait for the shop, and or get good video. Well, I got the video, but oh, I was furious. Put it this way, in my shoot entire fishing offshore on boats, I have never gotten into a disagreement with a boat captain the way I got into a disagreement with him. And then him trying to talk to me like I was a tourist. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, no, that didn't go over very well. So I'm gonna leave it on there, guys, because like I said, I'm not calling out anybody by name or where I went. None of that's in the video. Like I said, I'm not trying to mess with uh, or bash on anybody, but when they act like this, I'll let their actions speak for them, and you can decide from there. Like I said, I'm open to criticism as well, but again, too, I thought they were there to help, not to do what they did. So but it is what it is. It ain't gonna deter me from going back offshore fishing because I am gonna go back offshore. I just will be paying closer attention to who's running the boat and stuff like that. Obviously that's big time importance to me. Because if they don't if they don't do things that I like, then I'm not going to sit there and support them. You know what I mean? I'll find another captain, do whatever. Like if I don't like what I'm seeing, I just swipe left or not get involved, kind of deal. So William Doty, what's up, Devil Dog? How you doing? Uh, Got 20 on there. That puts us at 150. We're at 150. And I'm still making leaders over here. I haven't really set a time on the fire drying, or I did, but I don't remember. So I'm going to set it now. We'll do 14 more minutes, guys. 14 more minutes for tonight's fire drawing. And we're at $150 right there. Yes, and my HXW Raptor, that one, I want to say has 80-pound braid backing with, it was 80 or 100-pound mono on top. And that's what I fought that shark with. I got confused on what I needed to add over here. I need to add the swivel, so you're not the first person who's asked for that, Sputnik. I've been asked it a few times, but only recently. That was kind of the reason why they discontinued them, is because they didn't, from what I understand, they didn't have a lot of sales on them. But again, too, things change. The fishing will change and it'll grow, or it'll find out, man, that was what they needed or wanted. So I know a few of the guys like the 30T Rexes like that because they're fishing on the piers for like big old what are those fish again? I'm so brain dead right now because I'm trying to concentrate on this. Uh, what's that fish? Snook. Some of them monster sized snook. But they also have the ability to hook into the smaller Goliath Gruber 80 to 100 pounders. So they like those 30 T-Rexes because they put a lot of drag on a small reel. So they don't have, they can still cast it, but just have to go that way. What's up, Whiskey? Yep. So you missed storytelling of what just happened to me on a fishing boat, but it will be, I'm still working on the video. Like I said, I'm going through it to make sure everything's good to go on there because I don't want to get hit with community standards. Because when you get hit with community standards, then that's something you really got to deal with. There was no music playing on the boat, which was good, but I don't know if I honestly got to say that caught me by surprise because every time I've gone on offshore charter, they always have music going, pretty much always. But this one didn't, which was good. But like I said, I was thrown off. But yeah, it's all right. Well, I can definitely ask to see if maybe they have found one laying around because there was a time there that I did see them, and I just don't know if they actually sold them. Because sometimes they find stuff in their inventory that they didn't even know they had an inventory. So I can check on that. Yeah, man. Oh, come on. I'll see what's up on that. Um, but yeah, those 30 T Rexes, they were beast. They were definitely beast. What's up, Dave? How you doing? Let's see. But the guys that I fish with, man, one of them, he was on the snapper. Big snapper. Big snapper. So, and I have to be honest, I've never seen, an offshore trip where we caught big snapper like that. Normally, you'll see maybe one for the boat. All of them are normal average size. But when you saw several of them come up back to back like that, that was pretty stoked. I'll give that to them, and uh, but again, too, it kind of sucked too. I did talk to the deckhands and I let them know, hey man, I've got more tip money, but I need more bait. Like whatever people don't claim that, because a lot of times they catch the blue runners or the vermilion snapper and stuff like that that I can sell as bait. And I talked to them this hours before we got to the dock, like, hey, I got more for y'all, but I need y'all's help. I need bait that I can take with me. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we got you. And then when it came down to it, I saw several opportunities. They were like, oh no, somebody already asked. Somebody already asked. I'm like, all right. So I didn't tip. I mean, I tipped because at the end of the day, they still work, and I know they got to feed their families and stuff like that. But I didn't tip any extra, like I normally would have if they had helped me out. When other people didn't claim any fish or whatever, or didn't claim their fish. Obviously the snapper, the red snapper, I couldn't take anything extra because you're only allowed to keep certain amounts and stuff like that. So they gave away all the extra snapper to those who didn't want them. But yeah, so I got what I could. I got what I could, but I did get into some Kauno Stingray yesterday. So I got 30 Kauno Stingray available for sale right now, guys. But I did have to raise the price a little bit because I also had to pay a little bit more for these Kaunos. Um, and again, I work with what I can, but being without shark bait for almost 2 to 3 months, and finally getting some, I pretty much jumped on the ability to get that in there. So, yep. And we got 13 more minutes for tonight's fire drawing. We're at 150, and right now I'm still putting on the beads on my trout and flounder rigs, making those. Right now that's the bottom section, so I got to move all this back up to the top, but it all stacks down there at the bottom before I move it up. Okay. How do I go about getting an LX Raptor in the Mahi color? That is an excellent question. You find out, you let me know. The only way you're going to get in any of those right now, especially from an Avid or on an Avid, is if somebody has one that's willing to sell. Um, they went through a deal where they cleaned out found a whole bunch of reels that they had made and or didn't know that they had. Like I said, in that back inventory, we found a whole bunch of left-handed reels and stuff like that. But the Dorados were not in there. They were not in there. The one that I got was bought by another company, and they never got around to using it, so I bought it from them. I still had to pay a pretty penny for it, and so that's why I had to turn around and sell it through a raffle here because I didn't really want to charge what I should have charged, but You know, we worked it out. Y'all helped me have some fun with it, and we worked it out that way. So now I've moved the weights to the top with the swivel, and I got my snap there at the bottom. That's where you saw the weights at earlier. And that's how many I've made so far. I was sitting here, ooh, this one don't have a snap. Oh, it's not even supposed to be in there. Never mind. Yes, sir. Now, Puckett, I will say, occasionally deals come through where we get our hands on them. So when we do, I jump on it, but again, too, I am not willing to pay that crazy price on them. Now, I've had other guys that, like I said, we sold a Dorado 3-speed HXW Raptor that was said to be uh, a unicorn because they never made it. Yeah, they never made one of those. Well, yeah, they did. You know, I had one. So the guy bought it, and then he had it for a long time, and then turned around and sold it in excellent condition. And it was selling for, I think, like $1,500 is what it sold for nearly double the cost of what it was sold as. But again, too, you know, if people are willing to pay, then cool. If I run into a deal like that, uh, I'll pass the word, but it just all depends what people are willing to pay for, you know, something like that. So, what left-handed reels did I get in? They were the blue and the black ones that we got in. I still have a few of them, but they're the MXL Raptors. Uh, yeah, yeah, Daniel Garcia, eBay, OfferUp, Marketplace. Those are a few places normally where you find them. I don't go looking. Normally, people contact me, and that's when I find out about some type of reel like that and stuff like that. I'll be honest. So you might end up finding it before I do. I'm just giving you a heads up. That's the way to uh, go through it. Yeah, honestly, you would end up paying a crazy price for it. Yep. So, but again, too, you know, it's like me. Like I won't sell one of my Harringtons. I mean, I've been offered some crazy money for it, but I won't sell them. But again, too, uh, it just all depends. You know, if the price is right, if the price is right, and it gets me to want to sell it, well, then by all means, you know, if you're willing to commit to it, then cool. That's your that's on you. All I can do is set up the meet and greet. That's all I can do. Yeah, and actually, I don't know if I even have any more SXs, but I do have an MXL lefty in there, and I think it's gold. And Oscar, you still here, boss? Left-handed in blue. All of them are Raptors. Let's let's see. Okay. No, there's no MXL in black or blue. The only one I have in left hand and the in left hand is that gold LX right there, or MXL. Sorry. All the other SXs that are left handed are black. Yeah, they're only black right there. Everything else is right-handed. And oh, one of the oranges walked out today too. The orange MXO Raptor. The SXs are on the way. When will I get those? We'll see. Yes. Let's. Yep, that's a left-handed MXL Raptor. They are $449 for the reel. Ends up being, let me see. Hold on. Let me get to the computer real quick. Comes out to $505.11. And actually, let's do this. I'm sorry, I had to do it, guys. I'm doing the spinning reel, but in the baitcaster version. See, and I gotta do it like this to release it. But yeah, so that's in free spool right there. Two-speed Raptor right there. MC2. And I put those reels in there. God, those pinks look awesome. That looks like a rose gold, actually. They don't look pink. Like those are beautiful colors right there. So and to be honest, boss, that was when I told you all that they went through and they found all these reels that they didn't know they had. That's the last colored left-handed reel that they had, because they had like anything left-handed. I literally got my hands on and bought as much as I could. So yeah. Okay. Well, Sputnik, you want to call me after the drawing or after the video or right now? It don't matter. We're at $150 for tonight's fire drawing, and we have 3 more minutes. Got 3 more minutes. Yeah, that 130 and that rose gold looks sick. Yes, sir. Right to that. All right, and anybody go fishing this past weekend? Come on, give me some fishing stories. I want to hear what's going on, what y'all catch, what y'all didn't catch. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, Chris Schultz. God, that was heartbreaking when you told me that. Brian QC Chipper, welcome to the channel, boss. I'm sitting here making trout and flounder rigs for another shop that we supply our gear to. This is the remaining part of their order that they needed. I'll be shipping this to them. They wanted 60 of these leaders. I already had made the whole delivery last week, but somehow my guy forgot to put these in the order. So I'm making them right now so we can ship them out tomorrow so they can have them for the weekend. And where's my crimpers? Ready with them. And we're also doing a fire drawing, which I can actually start putting the names in. All right, guys. All right. So it looks like the bench is just give you an idea of how much gear we got. I got to clean up and catch up on. Those are all 1 ounce weights and or cannonballs. There's a top tray, bottom tray, surf weights, more surf weights, top and bottom right there. More surf weights there, regular weights there, more surf weights under there. That whole thing is full. There, there, under there, more surf weights up there, and that tray right there. And then the water's going out is all of this. Redfish rigs, 5-foot shark casting rigs. We got more redfish rigs right here. Got pompano under there. Egg weights, cannonballs, pyramids, surf weights, surf weights, surf weights, surf weights, surf weights, more surf weights. But our counter is empty. So if y'all want to do Bobby the Bobber tonight, guys, I know he's been dying for some action out here. We can do it. So it's either Bobby the Bobber or the Wheel of Doom. So if y'all are in the fire drawing, get your votes in now. Y'all got 1 minute, or I'll decide. Bella, let's see. What 100-pound fluorocarbon do you recommend for tuna? I caught a 35-pound king salmon in SF this past weekend. Well, I will be honest with you. I have actually seen where lighter class fluorocarbons actually got cut off less than heavier class fluorocarbons. But again, too, we were going for kings and Spanish mackerel and stuff like that. And when we were using 40-pound fluorocarbon on our leader, we got cut off less because we're using a Mandalure or a gotcha plug than we did when we're using 80 or 100-pound. When you used 100-pound, you were getting cut off pretty much instantly. But we had to play the fish a little bit longer, which is crazy because if you think about it, the more time you fight a fish, the more chances you are to get cut off. Yeah, food for thought right there. Yeah, so real quick, guys, anytime you buy one of our Avid reels from us, we store paper. This is something we do for free. We don't charge you for it. It's just something because of things like this. God forbid it should happen to anybody, but it did happen to Chris Schultz. They broke into his domicile and they stole all his fishing gear. All of his Avids were stolen, custom rods were stolen, all of them spooled with hollow core braid by us. All of it was stolen. However, the saving grace was he purchased it through our shop, and what we do is we keep track of the serial numbers on the reels, how much you spent, and when you purchased it. And actually, this has already been done. We had another customer that just walked in today thanking us because all his gear was stolen while he was in Florida. And so when the insurance company came through, he actually got more gear than he actually did. I don't know how it worked out. Maybe they hooked him up or whatever, but because of all the paperwork we had on his reels, and obviously Chris Schultz is going to give us his testimony once it goes through, how our due diligence of saving that paperwork for these kind of instances actually helped him. So now when he tells them, hey man, I spent $600 or $700 on this, and this, and they look at him like he's crazy, he submits the paperwork. It's from us. If they have any problems, they can call us. We can, show them, we got hard copies of everything. There's no questions asked. So that's why we do what we do here. We take that due diligence and go a little further than everybody else. And so right now, this is going to help out Chris Schultz. It just helped out that other customer. And, and it's done time and time. Every single time one of our customers calls, I'm able to backtrack. Even for some from like 10 years ago, we keep all that paperwork and we can find it. So Just a heads up, guys. Yes, you may be able to purchase gear from other tackle shops, and it may be a few bucks cheaper. In the long run, for peace of mind, it's kind of hard to say no. You know what I mean? So, all right. So I see Bobby in there for Kruger. Let me check Zelle because I know Kruger normally sends it through Zelle. There it is. Yes, Kruger. One for Mechanic Lady. And Kruger Automotive. And 10. And you said Bobby. All right. So we got Daniel Garcia for Bobby. Um, Roger. Chris Schultz. 20. Henry for 20. Shadows. 20. And I think I missed someone. To be honest with you, I don't know any tackle shops that do what we do with the paperwork like that. So Roger Garza for 20. So that we should be over 200 right there. I'm just going to double check everybody's super chat funds through here to make sure y'all's names are on there. So I got Henry, Chris Schultz, Roger, William Doty, Chris Schultz is twice on there. Okay. John Darnell. Got him right there. $1 billion bucket and Whiskey Warrior. Daniel Garcia was on the down here. We got Kyle Whitmire. We got 50 on it. Roger that. And then we got Kruger. So that's pretty much everybody. Let me go to the bottom, make sure I didn't miss anybody towards the end. No, we're good. Ah, that sucks, Cody. Oh, yeah. No, that's heartbreaking to hear that stuff. So, all right. And then I see Kruger for Bobby. So I got 3 people for or Roger. Who else was on there? Well, I didn't see nobody for the Wheel of Doom. So I guess we're going with Bobby the Barber tonight. Well, let me go get the tickets and go and start filling that out. All right, I found a whole bunch of tickets over there, but I did not find the spool. But hopefully, it's not enough to cover our sales for today, and it'll force me to look for the spool. But I know it's somewhere here. But I'm going to go ahead and start putting names on the tickets and get this sorted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 200 right there. 3, 4, 500 right there. All right, so we should be good. That really sucks, boss. All right, so start at the top. You get another pen because for the tickets, I would like you all to be able to see the names easier. Where's my Domino's pizza? Hard life. What's up, boss? Oh, okay. How do you want it spoken? Like for casting or something? 150. We're at 620.59, and I'm shipping this, or you picking this up? Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I don't. It's paid for. I don't mind holding it. All right, cool. I'm ready when you are, boss. All right, 252 blank in here. There is security code. Building zip code. And then the street number for the building number. Went through. And give me just a second. Let me write down these notes on here for your paperwork here. What's your phone number, boss? Blood plate. 300 yards. 50 pound. Are you particular as to what color 50 pound and 80 pound? Okay. I'm pretty sure I don't have any blue on hand, but I know between now and then I can get that set up because I just ordered, I think, another 50,000 yards of braid the other day. So, and would you like me to do the two tone, like the first like 50 yards, 100 yards, a different color, just in case you're getting mowed down? You know how much you got left on the reel? Nope. Okay. Roger that. And all right, boss. I got this. I'll get it sorted out, and we can go from there. You too, boss. You have a good one. All right, bye bye. Awesome. Well, he got the last left-handed reel in the color. We can get them in silver all day long. We just cannot get them in color anymore. So that's just a heads up there, guys. All right. So where's my markers? I have some markers. Crazy. But I need a regular pin. I cannot find them because I find all the markers. And now that I need a marker, I cannot find that. But I find a whole bunch of regular pins. Oh, there's one, finally. I was just kidding. All right, let's see. Jeez, 2.5 hours for a root canal? Ouch. See. Roger that, Hyman. And Hyman, I need to get your gear out to you, boss. I know I've been totally swamped here, but I got your fish bites here and I got your other stuff there. I need to get that out. Um, Working on it, man. Working on it. Bucket. Got $1 billion. Mhm. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's $1 billion. John Darnell. William Doty. Kruger Automotive. Mechanic Lady. Got Chris Schultz. Henry. Sinaceros. Got 2. Roger Garza. And Chris Schultz. Kyle Whitmire. You got 5. Oh, wow. So I am laughing here, and I'm going to explain in just a second. All right. So, like I said, I couldn't find my roll of tickets for tonight's fire drawing. However, we sold all of these tickets here, right? And I went over there and I found 2 setups. One had this amount, and I got another right here. So I have just literally filled out all the tickets for all the names on there. And that literally was exactly how many I needed for right there. What are the chances? Like, all right, so real quick, I'm going to run through them so y'all can see them. So got Whiskey Warrior right there for 2. Got Daniel Garcia right there for 2. Got Puckett right there for 2. $1 Billion Entertainment for 5. John Darnell for 2. William Doty for 2. Kruger and Mechanic Lady. Kruger Automotive and Mechanic Lady right there. Got Chris Schultz for 2. Henry Siniceros for 2. Roger Garza for 2. Chris Schultz for another 2. And I put a little 2 up there because that was the second buy. And then you got Kyle Whitmire for 5 right there. So that's an even $300. So I'm just going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fold that over. Fold that over. We're at $300 for tonight's fire drawing, guys. And, yep, you have, I'm giving everybody 2 minutes. 2 minutes, guys. And I honestly, I'll have to go back through it, Jaime, because I've been just kind of staging it. I got to pull it all out to figure out where it's at, kind of deal. I know the other day I was moving some stuff around, and the fish bites that you requested, the shine and the mullet, are in there, and I'm like, damn, I need to get that over there. So just a heads up. So yeah, I still got plenty more tickets, guys. Like I said, I have the rolls somewhere, but these were the tickets that were just laying there. So, oh, Chris Schultz with another 10 right there. There you go. Chris Schultz right there. Ooh, Avid MXL Raptor or Pan Squall 2 for long distance casting 8 and bait. I honestly have not casted a Pan Squall 2 with 8 and bait, so I cannot vote yay or nay on it. I have done the MXL Raptor, and I did win the last 8 and bait by casting that. Roger said 50 in store credit. Roger that. All right. Got it. Arturo, what's up? Sitting here making more spider weights. Gotta stock up. Yeah, I feel you there, bro. I guess, did you see earlier when I walked around the shop with how much weights we got going over here? Two. All right, Roger. There's 5 right there, and I put a little 2 because there's your second buy-in right there. Then Chris Schultz with his 1 ticket right there. That'll be number 3. Right there. Oh, just talked into the live. Let me walk you around real quick, Bob. So these are the 1/8 gauge, 1/16 gauge right there, 1/8 gauge, 1/8 gauge, 1/8 gauge. Now I got 330 or 1/16 under there. It's stuffed end to end with I think 3 or 4 ounce surf weights. Yeah, trying to pick up that tray. That's probably got about 100 pounds of lead right there. And then our other tray over here, 3 ounce surf weights or 3/32 gauge. 4 ounce surf weights, 4 maybe 5s right there. 5s and 6s, and 7s and 8s right there to fill up our container over there. Yep. And we poured a whole bunch of the 3/32 and 1/8 gauge because they wanted the different sizes, like in the 15, 16s, and 18s. Uh, I don't know why these are getting covered up. The whole thing of surf weight right here. Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why there's a whole bunch over there is because we're almost empty over here. So, yeah. I want it stacked up like that. Those are 10 ounce 3/32, 11s, 12s, 9s, and 8s right there. And again, like I said, we're starting to double stack. I found out that this will hold, I think it was 150 5-ounce surf weights. So that one was full last week. That one was full last week. So was that one. They are gone. So, yep, I got a lot of weights. And then that's kind of why those are empty, because they're all over here going out for delivery. Yeah, a lot of them. Lot. And leaders too. So, yeah. No, we're breaking down a 2,000-pound block right now. Actually, it's probably 2,500, maybe. I'm saying 2,500 because the other half of it was split. Like it had some kind of contraption in the middle. So we already took off one side of it, but the whole block weighed 6,000 pounds. So we already took off half of it, and then it had some kind of contraption in there. And then we're just now taking off the other half of it. So I'm going to take that back and go weigh that out and get credit for that. So, but we've got 10 or 11 more bricks, anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 pound blocks that we got to go pick up and bring over here. So we're gonna be gonna be busy, bro. But I'm glad to see you still tearing it up, man. I know you work some crazy hours, bro, and then to be doing all of that on top, man. That's pretty nuts, man. Yeah, no, I definitely do. Oh, okay. So I got into getting sidetracked again. All right, so I don't see any more buy-ins for tonight's fire drawing. Let's go and get over there with Bobby. Last call, guys. Definitely got plenty more tickets. Like I said, all I have to do is look for them. I got 100. I probably got 200 more available because like I said, I still got some laying about. I still got more tickets laying about, and also too this from the stack in here. So, and then there's Bobby, who's empty. He needs to eat, guys. He ain't eating in a minute. We ain't fed him in a minute. So, all right, got it good right there. And right now we're 320, 40, 60. We're at $360 for tonight's fire drawing, guys. We still have 140 tickets available there. We got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 140 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 230 tickets still here. So we got plenty of tickets, guys. Up to y'all to eat them. Well, let me know. I got my bag in my spot. My spot says too cute. There you go. Yeah. I was getting ahead like that. I had two blocks anywhere from one block was 10,000, the other one was 14,000, and then during all of that's when I was having the truck breakdown and this and that, and my buddy was sick in the hospital, so we fell behind because of all of that contraption. But he stocked up, so now I'm trying to get it all over here. If I can get all of that over here, I should be good for a couple months. I hope not. I hope it all sells out quick, to roll that way. But we are doing it. So, all right, guys, y'all got one more minute. I'll go and start tearing up the tickets. So we're at 360. Bobby the Bobber is empty. He wants to eat. Y'all gotta hook him up. Up a little bit so you can see all the tickets. Make sure they're not stuck together. Mm. 360, guys. Those. Give me some. Give me some. Get her done. Thumbs up. Something. Let's get her done. All right. Let's see. Come on. Just making sure that I'm seeing the live chat, because sometimes I move over here and it doesn't do it, doesn't do it. All right. Shaky, 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 shaky. 360. 360 for tonight's fire drawing. I love hearing when the tickets are moving about. So. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Ready, ready? Here we go. Making sure I got them all. Oh, they just popped out. Hold on. Come on. Get them on. Get them on. Yes, I did. All right. All the tickets are in hand. Nothing on the floor. Here we go. Y'all ready? Hold on. Get them at the tips of my fingers. It makes it easier. All right. Oop. Oop. There's the ticket. Chris Schultz. Wow. That is ticket number 2 from right there. Chris Schultz, ticket number 2. Wow. Bro, that couldn't have come at a better time for you, brother. I'm truly sorry that you're going through what you're going through, but I'm glad that helped out, boss. I'm really glad. So, oh, man. That's awesome. All right. So 360 and 360 minus 20. There's my other phone. But yeah. Sorry, I was responding. Somebody was texting me, like asking me price. I'm like, hold on, I'm live, boss. $288 and $72 will go. We didn't make the trip on Saturday to San Saba, and let me do a little bit of explaining of what's. A lot of things happened, and we learned a lot about what's going on up there. 72, Chris Schultz. So that puts us at $1,642. Yeah, we're at $1,642. So I was supposed to leave on Saturday. However, hold on, real quick before I make sure. No, I didn't even put his name. All right. So Chris Schultz, you're right there. My driver, the Rick, who was going to take us up there to use his trailer to do that, he's got real bad arthritis. And so he was pretty much laid up all day Friday. And like he couldn't do anything. So I never got a hold of him. I was trying to get a hold of him, but I knew something had happened because he calls me back. Like he's the one who's like, hey, so we still good? We're like, you know what I mean? He's following through. He's the type of person that when he says he's going to do something, he follows through. So I knew something was up. But also, too, Pete and his crew with the Big Bertha crew, they had a death in the family. So they were having to postpone because of what they were dealing with. And then me, seeing that we were at, $1,600, I was like, man, that ain't really a lot of money to go up there, to make a trip like that, towing all that gear. It was going to cost us more than helping them out, especially if we're trying to help out these families. But I also found out that right now the town that they're in has created a bunch of red tape, or the red tape was already there, but they're now hitting it because the areas that got flooded are part of a flood zone. And because they're part of a flood zone, they're not getting the permits to rebuild, which is crazy because you would think, man, that would be like the first thing. Hey, get these families to be able to rebuild, or at least, refix their house so they can move back in, because right now they got 110 families that are displaced. And they're basically being hit with a bunch of red tape, and to the point that a lot of volunteers have left the area. So even if we made the trip up there, we would have to literally unload everything by ourselves, kind of deal. They would probably get some people to help us, but instead of having the accessibility of everything else, it was going to be really difficult. So you can hear it in her voice how upset she was, the lady that's helping us collaborate and make these moves, because you also need permission. You can't just go in there and start doing whatever. You got to have permission. You got to be vetted to go into these areas to make this kind of help and stuff like that, because obviously they don't want people getting taken advantage of or bad things happening and stuff like that. So, we're going through the proper channels. And she was saying, this may work out because, we have to kind of wait till they get these permits pushed through or allowed to get the permits to start rebuilding. So I was like, well, that works out. That gives me more time to work on getting more funding for this. Because again, if you want to bring the supplies that we're going to be looking for, they're supposed to be getting with me this week of a list of pertinent items for those houses. Because again, too, kind of like our Green Cross for Christmas and everything else, we're going to buy stuff that is needed by those families to rebuild. I don't want to go on assumption of what I think or what people think. At the end of the day, they're going to use these materials to rebuild. And my way of thinking is whatever materials I get should be to get them the fastest way to get them back into their house, kind of deal. So once they let us know what they need, we're going to go off that list and try to get as much of it as we can. But obviously, it's going to be all dependent on the amount of monies that we can raise during this Green Cross Fund fundraising. So again, guys, we're still running it. And again, any help that y'all want to do on the side, on top of the fire drawing that we're working with that, let us know. We haven't set a date up when we're going to go back, but it is there. She's going to let me know what dates are available again, too, because they have to work it in between the other volunteers that are going up there at that time and stuff like that. And so as soon as I know, I will let y'all know. But it is coming, and we're working on it. And again, I just want to thank everybody who's being proactive with the fire drawings and or the donations or passing the word, trying to help us out. Let us know. Also, too, we do have the ability to partner up with a 501c organization. So if you can get a big company that's wanting to make a big donation of materials off that list and or a monetary donation with the write-off, let us know. We can definitely get them the paperwork to to help them out with their tax write-off at the end of the year, because it does help. So yeah. Oh, we've been hearing all kinds of craziness, boss, and we definitely, like I said, we're not on the ground over there. I don't know, but it normally it's not supposed to be a normal thing. People should be able to get their land back and stuff like that, but it is definitely a sorry, bad situation for those families. For us here in Corpus Christi, a petition was started to remove the mayor as well as the city manager from their positions. We found out that the mayor is trying to talk to a lawyer to change the charter which governs our abilities as citizens to remove the mayor from her position or his position, the mayor from their position if they have been found to, that they're not upholding, what's the best word? What man? I have a word in my head, but they are their trust. They're losing their trust. We have found out that they have actually approved paperwork that was federal documents that were tampered with, and they still try to push them through and try to force us to accept them on their word. So, with that being said, that's already showing us that if they're willing to approve of federal documents that have been tampered with, what else are they willing to do to get what they want? So, right now, that is a serious, loss of trust between the city and their position within the city and their duties. And we are definitely doing what we can to get them out of there. But by the mayor doing what she's trying to do, she's trying to take our legal right to remove her from office when we have found that she is no longer um, trustworthy in that position that she's in. So we're going to keep in tune with that, guys. She did have to go in to do a deposition of um, the paperwork and stuff like that, where the city manager had already said that, yeah, she knew, the city manager knew, and they still went forth with it's okay with the tampered documents that trying to force the city to accept on their word that everything was on the up and up when it actually wasn't. So I don't know how far it's come along since last week, but this is what's come since last week. So um, we are definitely keeping on track. I know they were supposed to vote on it tonight. They were supposed to or put it to. Um, Hold on, real quick. Right now, I'm checking in with Rachel Caballero because she's in the city council meeting right now. It was two items that they were supposed to add. One was the lawsuit. It was 25-1445, the discussion and possible action for the city auditor recommendations and the memo for outside investigation on the Homewood Suites fraud allegations. Um, and this was actually requested by three of the city council members, Gil Hernandez, Kaylin Paxson, and Sylvia Campos. And then the other one was for the 25-1453, which executive session pursuant of Texas Government Code and Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct Rule, to consult with attorneys concerning legal fees related to the request of outside agencies uh, on the Homewood Suites fraud allegation. So basically, it's going to cost taxpayer dollars to hire an attorney to fight against the mayor and their attorney and what they're trying to do, and basically force us to keep accepting what they deem to be in good favor for themselves instead of for their city. So we as city taxpayers are going to end up footing the bill to hire an attorney to get them out of there. But again, too, I'll be honest, I have learned that, attorneys within the city, they have never done me any good. I've only done any good when I hire an attorney from outside the city, because then they have no, um, they're not playing golf with the judge, basically. They're not going to determine, okay, you know what, we'll let you win this case if you lose this case later, kind of deal. And that's what they basically do. That has been confirmed by other lawyers that we know, that that's what they do. Like, they'll sit there, hey, you know what? I know last year I let you win that case by this, and I need this one this year. And they collaborate like that. So, oh man, it does pretty crazy. Does anyone talk about the Karen who trash talk a man who got the ball first on his son's birthday? Yeah, yeah, we've seen that. Another thing too, one of our city officials here went to Houston, or was trash talking our city from another city, because he was upset that we didn't vote for the overpriced desal plant here in the city. Like, he's upset and talking trash about us, and like our inability to make the right decision for the city and blah blah. Hey, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you're gonna end up paying $40 per gallon of water, bro. When you go to the store, I'm sorry, I love my family and everything, but I'm not going to buy a $40 gallon of water. Like, that's way overpriced. Yet this guy wants us to accept that and buy it. No, 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 sorry. And then we also heard too that the mayor had also taken trip to go and try to get higher up representatives and officials to force our local city managers and city officials to vote in favor of something that they didn't want to vote for. They were being threatened. You know what I mean? And the way they were also being threatened was telling them that basically, well, if y'all don't vote for it, when y'all need money later, y'all not going to get it because y'all didn't vote for this. They're doing a pro quo or quid pro quo, or whatever you want to call that, which that's basically blackmail right there. So pretty pissed off at that, but I am so glad that she announced that and read that paperwork out to us, because again, too, that's corruption right there. What do these state officials up there have anything to do with our city over here? That's why we hired our own city managers and stuff like that. They should not be weighing in on stuff like that unless they have some kind of um, what is it, a hand in that pot or whatever to win and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty crazy right now. But again, I'm going to continue on with these trout and flounder rigs. I got to make 60 of them. And I would go home and work on it, but it's just, yeah. I dropped this at the house, man. Those beads are everywhere, everywhere. So, yeah, no, we heard about that, Karen. I also did hear that that young man, that baseball team actually had given him a signed bat and some more memorabilia, to compensate for that Karen and what she did. That was pretty crazy. So, mm-mm. Oh, I don't know about going fishing this weekend, but I am definitely going to try and do something. I need to get back out on the water. I know y'all are foaming at the mouth for me to get back out on the water, um, but definitely got it. I got to get back on the water. That's all I got to say. So let's see. Switch out colors of beads. Move into another color. Let's see. Oh, okay. So both teams gave him gifts. That's awesome. Oh, I honestly I had not followed up with what was going on. That is awesome to hear for sure. And yeah, that's. I mean, I saw the video, and I mean, I could understand if he pulled it out of her hand. You know, like if you can see that, but you can. It looked like he picked it up, and she was just upset that she didn't get to it first. But again, too, at the end of the day, you know, he gave it to a child. I mean, I can understand if he was groping, you know, doing it all on his own and you know stuff like that. But he gave it a child. You know, anybody in their right mind should have just said, you know what, that's cool. You know, just let it be. You know what I mean? But I'm glad he got more in the end. That's pretty cool. So, but I did see where the Bananas team, the Crazy Bananas or something like that. They did their own replay of that where they had the Grinch out there. I did see another video where they replaced her face with Smeagol from the Lord of the Rings, My Precious. Johnny, any orange reels available? Yes, we have MXL Raptors, LX Raptors, and the 130 Raptors in orange available right now. And what's on the way will be. Hold on, just a second. Let me crimp this up because these sleeves slide off real easily. Um, how long will it? Do you plan on having a layaway, boss? Because these got kind of got to be pretty quick sales. I mean, if it's a month or two, cool. If you're looking longer than that, then probably not, boss. Um, just because I'm trying to get them moved. I'm trying to keep the deal going. But if they take too long to sell, then it's going to be harder for me to get more back in house. Oh yeah, no, 2 months is fine there, Johnny. And like I said, I have the MXL Raptor, the LX Raptor, and the 130 T Rex in orange. Um, I have I have four HXW Raptor plus MC. Uh, they put non-MC on there. They were supposed to be MC. Jeez, let me check my email. Let me. Oh, I can't do that. So let's do this. All right, so they're sending me non-MC, but okay, they'll probably still sell, but We're also getting 4 of the SX Raptor Plus MC in orange. One of those is already sold. We are getting 2 of the T-Rex 3-speed orange as well. And 1 T-Rex gunmetal 2-speed, but that one's already sold as well. Also ordered 3 of the extra large covers for the 80s because I realized the other day we are out. So just a heads up on that. You want all 3 SX, MXL, and LX? Roger that. Well, Johnny, can you send me a text reminding me of which ones you want? That way I can work up a quote after I'm done with the video here. Yeah, working on that, but I'm also trying to work on this over here. And I don't like getting up because I might kick off where I have my leaders over here. So, what's up, Alton? How you doing? You missed out on the fire drawing, boss. All right, we'll have another one here pretty soon. Let me see if I got a text back from Rachel. All right, let's see. Stuck at work and I get on my phone. I understand that, boss. Definitely. Oh, man. But I'm here knocking this out, trying to get as much work as I can done because me slowing down. Oh, man. I bent a whole bunch of 1/8 gauge wire for our surf weights because normally when we order or get orders set up for 4-day outfitters, they order anywhere from 50 to 200 of each surf weight at a time. Oh, crap. I forgot to put the sleeve on there. And because of that, I normally, when I build up a lot more gear, the wires or whatever for it, I try to build several thousand so that way when we have to build the surf weights, we have extras. And that's how we normally get the extras for the shop. If they order 51 pounders, we'll build like 75. So we'll put 25 on our shelf and have 50 to go out. Or if they order 200 of the 3-ounce surf weights, we'll build like 300 to 400 and the rest will go on the shelf. And that's how we normally make up time and effort. So that way when the next order comes, if we already have it, then we just go to pull in the order and we can make deliveries faster. So definitely it helps us in the long run when we play that hand rather than just making what is needed for that order instead of planning ahead for sure. So getting the swivels on there or the sleeves, and then I got the beads. And as you can tell, these are little bitty beads, little bitty swivels. Um, that's my thumb. So that just gives you an idea how big this stuff is that I'm working with. The sleeves that I'm using are 0.8 millimeter double mini sleeves. 0.8, like that's the sleeve right there. Yeah, I dropped it. So I did hear that there's another tournament coming up in the Galveston area, but for mainly redfish with a side pot of shark. So I was gonna see who was gonna actually do that one. Um, I need to check the rules and regs to see if I'm allowed to fish it again. Every tournament that comes up, I basically have to do that now because, like I said, I got screwed over by Sharkathon back in 2013, and now when they put up these rules and regulations, they have that verbiage on there, and since it's open ended, it doesn't matter how long ago you got screwed or you got caught, you can't get into a tournament, which is crazy because I see these other guys that were caught like red-handed cheating in tournaments, and they were only banned for like 2 or 3 years. And I'm over here, shoot, 12 years later, still having to fend on that. And then even at the last tournament, I had some. It was a pretty annoying situation that I ran into. You know what I mean? Look at that, connecting 2 liters of one bead right there. Let me fix that real quick. Um, it was a pretty uh, uncool situation, and especially the way I was talked to. And I followed the rules. Got there, did what they told me to do, checked in. They wouldn't even accept my money until I actually had uh, read and signed the what's that form? The man, I'm so brain dead right now. Where basically you can't sue them if you got hurt. I forget what the damn name of the form is, but so once I did that, then they said, okay, it's good, it's signed, it popped up, you're confirmed. Okay, this is how much it's going to cost. I paid them the money. They, all right, you paid. Let me see your wrist. So they tagged me there. You know what I mean? And then the next day, I'm in a video. I'm in the background helping the guy land the shark. It's not even my shark, another guy's shark. But they were accusing me of not fishing, or that I was not fishing legally in the tournament. So when they came by the first time, they're like, "Hey, I need to check you." And I had already talked to the guy earlier that day, and I was thinking he was like, I was like, "Sure, come on by." Like, I thought he was messing with me. I have no problems with anybody. Like, hey, if you need to come in, bring the game. I don't care. Like, bring it. I'm good. Like, I'm not worried about me or my guys. We don't play that game. So, I didn't think nothing of it. I got the cast net, went out and got in the water, started catching some bait. And when I'm out in the water, this guy comes up barking at me. Hey, get the hell out of the water. But he used an F word. I was like, oh, okay. So you done opened up that door to talk to me like that. Well, I'm going to talk to you like that. So now he's getting the same kind of treatment he gave me. And so me, when I fish, y'all know me. You'll see all my videos. I'm always like this. I have long sleeves on, so I don't like getting sunburn on my arms. And that, also too, when I'm handling sharks, I don't like to get rashed up. But actually, I still got rashed up there. It's healing now. It's already scabbed over. You can kind of see it right there. And it would have been worse if I didn't have my sleeves down because it caught my arm right there too. So I found out that because he was live on the video, that they were reporting in saying that I was cheating, or I was fishing illegally. So basically, I was cheating in the tournament, and it was live on camera. They caught me. It's like, so he came out and and it was like, hey, do you have this or no? It was like, where are your wristbands? Pull up my sleeve, like right there. Like, I mean, you can still see the sunburn. Like, and it's like they're right there. And he kind of looked at them like, and you could tell they were worn because I'd already been fishing the whole day prior. And they're soaking wet from me being in and out of the water. They were beat up. They weren't brand new, so it wasn't like I just put them on or whatever. But I didn't even know what was going on. I honestly thought he was playing with me, like just. I don't take things personally when they try to say, "Oh, you're a cheater." That whatever, dude. If you actually fish with me, you'll know how I hold myself in regard, and I ain't gonna put no win a tournament, you know, to win ahead of uh, my own self-respect. I'd rather hold my head up high and take a loss than hold my head up, take a win and have to walk around. Hey, man, I cheated. Like, no, I used an illegal bait, or I fished in an illegal area, or something. You know what I mean? I don't. I fish legit all the way through. And I've got. If you've ever fished with me, you know how I fish. And if you haven't, you can't speak on it because you don't know how I fish. Like I will be to my bitter end. I will be like this because I'd rather fish hard legally. And actually, I was talking to one of my another customer yesterday that a buddy of his that knows me. He's like, "Hey, go to his shop. He's got the leaders, this and that." And we started talking about it. And he goes, "Yeah." When he told me, "Hey, we got to go practice for Sharkathon." I was like, "Hey, bro, that's the only way you're gonna truly dial in because you're a different fisherman than him. He's been at it for forever. He's just bringing you in. He's going to teach you a whole lot of knowledge, man. That dude's been fishing since I remember him as a kid on the pier." He goes, "Yeah, he said he's been fishing." I said, "Dude, learn from him. That dude's a hardcore fisherman. Like he put in the time. He knows what he wants and how to get it. And he's won before. He's won tournaments before. So I was just speaking on what I know. You know what I mean?" And so the kid was like, "Yeah," and I was kind of telling him about me, and my tournament partner at the time was Damon, and me and him, we won a bunch of trophies, bunch of tournaments within years. And when he started winning and I wasn't winning, I still showed up to record him, walk the stage, get called up, and all of that. And I was stoked. A lot of people are like, "Well, yeah, but you didn't win." I was like, "I don't care. A winner out of my camp is a winner for all of us." You know what I mean? I don't always have to be the one on the platform. For me, it's, hey, we all work together to make that catch happen. And even when I won, I did not do it by myself. Without them helping me, without their help and feedback and knowledge and watching helping each other out, we would have never made that catch happen. So for me, a win for anybody on our camp is a win for all of us. So he's like, and that's the way it always has been. So I was telling him, yeah, no, go with them, practice with them, because right now, the harder you practice, the easier it's going to be when it comes to Sharkathon, because you're going to already be used to those conditions. You know what I mean? It won't be nothing to it, it'll just be another weekend. But if you practice hard like that, it's going to work out for you. So, let's see. We are, dang it. My uh, comments looked like they were stuck there, like nobody was commenting and stuff like that. So, but again, I got a bunch of leaders to build. And I appreciate y'all being on the channel with us. Make sure to give us a thumbs up and share the channel with your buddies. Let them know, because not only do when you talk about the shop, tell them about the YouTube channel. That's what's going to help them really, because when you're not able to be there to talk to them, or they're sitting there by themselves, they can pull up the channel and learn some more knowledge. You know what I mean? So definitely a different ball game there. Oh, but that's how many I've built so far. I don't even know how much that is, but I'll do a quick little count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 25. So I'm about halfway there, guys. 25 right there. I need 60. When I say it's 60 for the order, yeah, I need 60 for the order. And then we also got our 24-aught circle hooks. Oh, that's what else I worked on today. Let me show you. What's the name of the snapper that has yellow stripes? Vermilion? Or V-liner, something like that. So we got some 24-aughts in right there. Oh, that's the ones over here. Those are some 18-aughts, 16-aughts, and I'm going to build 20-aughts next. Yeah. So, yeah, they looking good. Looking real good. But I also got the bags for those leaders. So once I get kind of caught up with what I got going on, because I still got to get back over here with the 5-footers. We still need the other colors right here and right here. The 4-footers we still need. The the 3-way shorts we need. And you can see how many of the casting leaders, and that's because we had 50 more of them up here that were already taken off today. These 3-way longs, 3-way longs, 3-way longs. We need to build the 3-way shorts, which are completely empty. More bull red leaders, and the big black drum leaders and the 3-way shorts. Yeah, we got some gear to build. Got a lot of gear to build, but we are pushing through on it. So. What reel do you recommend that is not a spinning reel for shark fishing with a budget of 400? Rod, reel, and line? Bro, really? Rod, reel, and line. You're definitely going to have to go consignment, a used reel, to get something in a good quality of a reel. Are you talking about for casting or for droning? Is another question you need to answer. I got a decent 4-aught in there. Old school 4-aught metal spool. I also have a 12-aught here. But they're asking, here, let's see. There's a 12-aught down there that, let me get that out of there. That should be out so it can be seen. There you go. This one's pretty decent condition, pretty clean. So for kayaking or droning, that one. You're looking for casting. Got this one. It needs some TLC, but it has been gone through already. That's the way we end up getting it. You can do a meat hunter rod. Those are about $100 and something with the reel. I want to say that's a bill 25. I got to check the paperwork because that one was on consignment. This one's $275. As for a rod for droning on that, those Ohio rods are pretty cheap. We can get them in for you, or you can do the research and find them yourself. That one already has lines, so that's a bonus. So that would put you in the $400 mark. If you're droning for kayaking, we still have to spool the reel. It's going to cost you about $100, so that would still put you in the $400 mark. So I can definitely get you in there. Yeah, I could probably get you in there in the $400 mark, whether it's casting or kayaking. So the 12-aught there, you got my cell bus. Get with me, and what I can do is look around and see what I can work out. Since that reel already has line, I mean, you can start there with it, but I don't know what kind of line is under that. It was brought in on consignment, and he's asking $275 for the rod for the reel. So it's $275 as is, out the door kind of deal. Like I said, in the rod, we can probably get you one in about the $200 mark, and there you go, right there, right at $400. So. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. Yeah. Well, I do see it's kind of dying off on the feed here, but I'm going to continue working on this, except to make it easier for me to focus. I can hurry up and get home because when I stop to look up, I take away or I slow myself down on this, and kind of want to get home before at a reasonable time tonight, guys. So I will talk to y'all later. I will keep you up to speed as to what's going on with, trying to remove our mayor from that position since she's already proven not to be uh, uh, trusted, along with the city manager, who's also already proven not to be trusted. Um, so right now they're involved in lawsuits again too. So that's the kind of stuff we don't need, especially if they're breaking the law, but they're using taxpayer money to pay for their defense. Like that truly hurts us in the long run. So I will keep y'all up to speed, and we will go from there. But y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all later, guys.